Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock, which means it's time for another video. And today I have a very special interview that I'm doing about a very special subject. First of all, the person that I'm talking to today has never been on Magic TV before, but he is, I would say, one of the most powerful people in Magic. I have known him for a very long time. He is literally, he knows everybody. He's done everything, and there is nothing that goes on in Magic that he doesn't know about. He works for my favorite Magic production company, Penguin Magic, and he has some very, very exciting news that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about exactly what this news means. However, first of all, let's do an introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, appearing on Magic TV, here he is, the one and only Tim Trono. How you doing, Tim? You okay?
Good to see you, Craig. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I know you're busy. I know you've got a million things going on. So thanks for taking the time to
I
chat
have
to me.
nowhere the hours that you do. I don't know when you sleep, man.
That's the secret. I just don't tell anyone. I'm a
Yeah,
vampire, basically, is where.
okay.
But I'm really excited to chat to you. I mean, obviously, I gave you the introduction at the beginning, but I'm not blowing smoke up your ass when I say that. You have been in this industry for a very long time. Your Rolodex, now I'm showing my age, but your contact list is like a who's who in the Magic world. You're one of the very few people that I know of that can literally pick up the phone and ring any big name in Magic, and they're instantly going to answer. Like you have a certain level of respect that everybody shows you because you're the go-to guy. You know this industry inside out and back and front. It's fair
Well,
to say
thanks.
that, right?
Thanks. Yeah. I've been doing it a long time. I've been doing magic 49 years. Since I was 10 years old. I worked at a magic shop for a few years when I was 12 or 13 years old, actually. And then I started performing semi-professionally when I was 15 years old, working two or three restaurant gigs, and did that to put myself through college, and also did a lot of strolling and corporate work and stuff like that. And and then I worked about 13 years as the head of purchasing for Murphy's Magic Supplies when Murphy's was fairly new. I had a little company with Kevin King, and we produced some magic. We produced Money Morph and Watch Bandit and a few things. So I met Mark Murphy that way. And so I worked for Murphy's doing that. And then I eventually took a position with Penguin Magic, is where I currently am. And that's I've been there about 13 years too, as kind of a project manager and purchaser.
And through your time with Murphy's Magic and through your time with Penguin, you've overseen and helped produce some of the biggest magic that's ever been released. And I'm not just saying that, that's a fact. Like you have overseen and been a key part in many of the effects that people would consider to be iconic, groundbreaking effects over the last sort of 25, 30 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm honored and fortunate to have been in that position. But yeah, I mean, a lot of my best friends are a lot of the best magicians in the world, and so I've been uh, fortunate to work with a lot of different people, helping them to get their magic out. And, um, yeah.
As well as releasing your own magic. Like Branded is still one of my favorite effects of all
Thanks.
time. And, it was the ultimate everyday carry before everyday carry was actually a thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, yeah, branded was a great item. Yeah, I I've worked on a lot of things. Some things I have my name on. I've done some stuff with Michael Weber, and he's been kind enough to include my name, for the work that I've done with it. I've done a few commercial releases. like you said. And I just it's important for me to try to help people in whatever way I can with their releases in Magic. I mean, if it can help Magic, it's good because this is what we all love to do, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And since being at Penguin Magic, one of the things that you do in your role is you help creators bring magic out. You help work with creators, and you find new creators, new exciting people that have got new excited things that no one's ever seen before, and you help take that creator and that product and actually make it a reality.
Yeah, I mean, I work with a team of people. I mean, Sean Dunn and Mandy Ruff and a whole team of people at JAR, who owns Penguin, and a whole group of really amazing, talented people. And that's kind of what we do, but we also love doing it. We love finding great, new, interesting magic, and we love trying to showcase it in the best way possible. And we try to make magicians successful. I mean, if they're successful and happy, and they're going to be in magic 10, 15, 20 years from now.
That's fantastic. That's great. And that kind of brings us, I've got a couple of other questions about that later on, but that brings us on to the big topic of conversation, which is that you've spent quite a long time over the last few months, years, working on not just any magic set, but kind of like the ultimate magic set. So
Yeah,
I want to ask you all about this. Can you
yeah,
can you shed some light on what I'm talking about? Would that be okay?
yeah, sure. Um, about a year ago or a little bit more, I was having lunch with a couple of um, really avid magic enthusiasts. And one guy in particular was very successful, retired attorney, um, but loved magic. One of the things that I realized was that although these people love magic, they don't have a lot of effects they can necessarily just do. If somebody says, "Hey, can you do some magic for me?" And it really, um, I became obsessed with this idea of putting together a collection of really usable, practical, but gut punching magic, that a business person or a teenage kid or just somebody who wanted to share things with their family, colleagues, friends could do, but that it wasn't your typical magic set. I didn't want to just take things that we find in every magic set, but I wanted to take things that I've personally used, but that are in the skill range of to
Tim, you broke up there can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You broke up there for a minute. I don't know if it's my internet. Um, can you hear me now? Can you
I
hear me?
can I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it bottomed out there for a second. So can we reverse and we'll take it from a few
Yeah,
seconds ago? If you go from, you got obsessed with, take it from that
yeah,
point
yeah,
because
sure.
you kind of froze for a minute and I missed a couple of sentences, but you're back okay now. So
Okay.
give it
Yeah,
like 2 seconds. Hang on, give it 2 seconds just so we've got a gap in the timeline and then I can cut that out.
so I really became obsessed with this idea of putting together a collection of very strong, practical, easy magic for somebody who's not performing all the time, and but stuff that they can carry and really make an impact with. And if it's a professional business person, that they're going to be tricks that when they take them out, they don't necessarily look like tricks or they don't feel like tricks. That they won't be embarrassed to take these things out. And I'm really happy with the result. I've sent this collection to a bunch of people that I respect, including you and Teller, received a set, and Andrew Gerard and a bunch of other people. And Bill Malone got it, and he called me, and he's like, Tim, he says, I love this. I wish when I was performing all the time, I would just give this out to CEOs of companies that love magic, because he said it's something that I I would feel good giving them. And so I'm really proud of the result. I think it's strong, strong material.
So here's a question. How long have you been working on it, and what was the starting point? Because, it's a very, you see so many magic sets that come out these days. And a lot of the magic sets, they have the three little cups that are different colors. There's certain things that you see in every single set. And even though there's lots of different magic sets that come out, they all kind of have the same sort of thing. So,
Mhm.
what was your starting point in terms of the content of the kit?
Well, I I wanted to do material that I could personally vouch for. Like, for example, there's a coin routine in the kit that I've done since, honestly, I was a teenager. And I worked at a really, I think, elegant handling. I showed it to Paul Harris. Paul Harris loved it and used, with my permission, he used an idea on a release of his with this. But it's basically a sleight of hand free coins across, where you're standing several feet away from the coins as they disappear and appear under a coffee cup. Um, and So I tried to do all ideas that I could personally vouch for and that I used. And some of the stuff has kind of a new face. I always thought that the uh, thumb tip silk vanish, as an example, was a very strong effect. Um, but that we as magicians often overlooked it. So what I did is I made the silk look like a lens cleaning cloth instead of just, the red normal handkerchief. And I also tried to avoid the vanish, reappear sequence, and instead really make it like a challenge. So basically, you put it in your hand, and the spectator puts their hand under and over yours. And during that point, you obviously steal the thumb tip out. But it's more of a challenge vanish and more of a single perfect miracle as opposed to just a flourish.
That's
So
great.
it was all stuff um, that I've used, and but I thought that most anyone could do. There's a version of, you had mentioned branded before, and there's a version of a blister type of an effect in here, but it uses no playing cards at all. So what's great is you can do it anytime, anywhere with anybody. You don't need a deck of cards.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. I know you've got a set there. Would you be comfortable, but feel free to say no, would you be comfortable showing some of the props that are inside there and the sort of thing that
Yeah, sure, sure. So one of
was
the
the first thing that struck me, by the way, Tim, just to let you know, is
Mhm.
you say that this is a kit not for kids, although kids will be able to use it, absolutely, but it's more for that CEO, that somebody who really likes magic. And the look of the kit, when I received it through the post, it doesn't look like a child's plaything. It really does look like,
Yeah.
like what it's obviously intended for, which I thought the design of the box and the design of everything was amazing.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Andy from the Jerks did a post a few months back, I think, and it was very interesting. He was talking about magic kits just generally, and he said that most of the time magic kits go out to people that have no interest in doing magic. They're just it's a gift from somebody, as here's something to do with your time. And I think that's the standard magic kit audience in the past. And I don't think this kit is for that. I mean, if you have an 8-year-old kid or a 6-year-old kid who you're not sure what they want to do, this is probably not the right kit for that. But if you're a business person who really wants to kind of stand out, or if you're some young person who, like your son, who just loves magic and wants to show magic to friends and family and people, people he's going to school with, this is the perfect type of thing for that.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm really proud of the actual production of the kit, and I'm sure you'll be showing that at some point. But I put together a pretty thorough book. All of the explanations are very concise. I'm a big fan of Carl Fulvius and his writing, and so I tried to be concise in all of the descriptions, but they're all illustrated and have every detail you need. And there's a lot of important points just about how to be a better magician. Like I've been doing this a while, so I thought, what are some lessons I would give somebody uh, to help them make their magic stronger?
Mm.
So those kind of little points are discussed in here as
Wow.
well.
That's great. And it's nice to see a book included. These days, a lot of people just gravitate towards online tutorials. And the fact that you've actually got a book that people can sit there and open and they can learn it from that is great, in my opinion.
Yeah, there is also a video. There's a link inside the book to a video that my colleagues Nick and Gali Lacapo did, showing some of the main items in here. And so if watching video is a preferable learning tool, then you can certainly,
Yeah,
watch Nick's video. But the booklet really contains some very, very valuable advice. So I'd recommend reading it as well.
absolutely. So you've got the book, and then can you show us some of the props that you have in there?
Yeah, sure. Um, I'm just gonna hold them up instead of putting my camera down. But so, for example, like with the coins across, um, it just uses a coin box. But what's interesting about this is I put a lot of thought into it. Like this is essentially a Boston coin box.
Hmm.
Um, and a few versions have come out. Tenyo put out a version. Bazaar de Magia put out a version. What I wanted to do was get something that was not trying to be something else. In other words, this is kind of just a nondescript coin box. It doesn't try to be anything that it's not.
Yeah.
And the advantage of that is it really disappears in the spectator's mind when you do this. And this is a trick I've done since I was a teenager. But it gets an incredibly strong reaction. I mean, the effect is that you take out this coin box and have four coins examined, put them in the box, and put a coffee cup inverted on the table, and you stand several feet away and you show the coins in the box, and suddenly they disappear, and the spectator lifts the coffee cup, and you're across the room. Um, Another effect I've always loved, Crazy Cube, and so we have a black Crazy Cube, and it just looks a little less propish
Yeah,
as
it does. Yeah.
uh, and basically it's for a remote viewing. So the effect there is the spectator puts in a die into one of the containers and then puts that in the other container, and they put that in the other room. And at that point, they don't even know what number is face down um, in the container. Yet you're able to do supposedly remote viewing and tell them what number is in the die in the other room.
Mm.
Um, we include a
Will
standard.
say, by the way, that Crazy Cube is just so underrated.
Oh
It's
yeah,
such an
yeah, it's really
amazing
good.
effect.
It's
It's
really great.
it's
And
perfect.
the peak that I use in this Crazy Cube, um, because of the presentation, is really, really strong. Because that's one of the things that's tough, even for a skilled, knowledgeable magician, is getting the peak at the right time. And but the peak here is just so easy and so bulletproof, simply because the presentation. It includes a standard pen through bill. The advantage of the routine that I have, I think a lot of times, excuse me, on the standard routine, the just poking it through kind of gets really close to what the secret is. And
Mm.
so what I've tried to do is I do use the pen as an instrument to destroy the bill. In other words, first it's poked, and then it's ripped, and then it's mutilated. And then you take the crumpled bill that's all supposedly mutilated and drop it in a glass. And by that time, the pen is long gone, and you just swirl it and it slowly restores.
That's
And
great.
so, you're just trying to, wherever possible, I'm trying to make the props quote unquote disappear in the mind of the spectator. Um, there's the device in here. Oh, there's one great thing. A lot of the props I'm not necessarily showing because they're nothing that seems exciting, but I kind of don't want them to be. There's a great effect in here with just a black cord, and you put this behind somebody's arm or finger, and you visibly pull it through, kind of
Wow.
like the silk through mic stand. And it's based on an old idea. But what's really interesting about this is um, the gimmick is right in front of your face. You just don't know that it's there. And I wasn't at the recent Mystify convention, but Mandy Roth, who I work with, was telling me that they were doing this at the convention, and people were just wigging out at it. And I know that Jeff McBride uses this particular trick. It's an old trick, but it's just kind of a revamp of an old trick. And Jeff McBride uses this. It's in his everyday carry type of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's, like I said, a lens cleaning cloth uh, to do the vanish. And I won't take it out, but it just, it's got the logo, and it's,
Yeah.
it's just for cleaning cloth. And
That's
there's a
right.
gimmick in there to do blister effect. There's a um, there's a version of age cards which I love age card, the whole concept.
Right.
And these are kind of almost like a game card type of a thing. Sorry, it's
That's the
blaring.
date.
And uh and
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah. And so it's basically you're able to guess anybody's birthday. And uh, even with the age cards, it uses an idea from Max Maven that I think significantly improves age cards just generally. It's the only way that I do that age card idea nowadays.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I tried to there's as kind of bonus routines, there's two or three effects in there with a thumb tip. There's two or three effects in there with the pen through bill. So these are props that we all know, but they're props that are allow some really strong magic. I was writing to somebody today. They asked a question about this kid, as a matter of fact, and I said, we as magicians, when David Blaine first hit the scene and did his first special, magicians were kind of complaining because he was doing quote unquote standard magic. And but look at the impact that standard magic had, the biting the coin or the rising cards or the Balducci levitation or the whatever he was doing. Yeah, they were standard effects, but David just knew the impact. And I kind of feel like that about the magic in here. Yeah, it's standard magic, it's a thumb tip and a pen through bill and age cards and stuff like that. But the magic is really, really strong. I don't perform professionally and going out and doing shows anymore. But I always carry a couple of these things with me, and it's stuff that I do because I know if I'm going to do some magic, this is stuff I can count on. It can be in my pocket, and maybe I haven't done it for a week or 2 weeks, but I can get it out and I can do it and be successful with it.
That's great.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. So question, do you think who's the target market for this? Because obviously it's been sold through Penguin Magic, naturally.
Yeah,
Penguin typically
I think it's
has a market of people that are already magicians, or it is who's the market?
yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a a magic enthusiast. I mean, certainly a professional will find stuff they will absolutely use in here. But to me, this is primarily designed for the magic enthusiast who's not out constantly doing shows and not able to practice all the time and but wants some stuff that they can count on to wow their friends or colleagues.
Oh, but okay. And you mentioned very early on about how, Bill Malone said, I would love to have this and I could give it away as a gift to, somebody who's booked me. Is that a viable option? Like, is it an option to like arrange a special deal with Penguin? I mean, I do a lot of corporate work. I could, is there an option to go, well, you know what? I want to buy 50 of these in. I love
Oh,
the idea of giving it
100%.
away to my wedding clients, to my corporate clients. This is a gift that I think is quality. Do you know what I mean? Is that
Yeah,
something?
sure, absolutely. Yes. In Penguin Wholesales that we sell products to other dealers and we sell products in volume to different people. Um, uh, One well-known TV magician. Actually, we have another magic set, more for beginning magicians, and one well-known TV magician buys those from us in bulk and sells those to his fan base. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So I want to ask you one more question about the kit.
Okay.
Two more questions actually have sprung to mind. The first one is, what's your favorite trick in there? You've talked about a lot of the stuff, not everything. Obviously, we can't talk about everything, but if you had to say, I mean, obviously everything was put in there because you love it. It's stuff that you've actually used. So I know it's probably difficult to answer. But if somebody buys this kit and they kind of want a cheat code into what to look at first, based on your opinion, Tim,
So
what one thing would you say?
yeah, the one that is kind of near and dear to my heart is the coins across thing using the coin box because I've been doing that since I was a teenager and
I have to say that sounds incredible. Like
it's
as
just really strong. I mean, you know, I can handle coins pretty well, but this is just no handling of any type. It's just so hands off and it's so magical. Also, I just love it's hard to pick one because I love the chord routine. I love the age cards. You know, I, I'm a big fan of Crazy Cube, so I love everything, but I think the coin routine is my favorite.
I mean, it does sound incredible. And one more question: is there something that you wish you could have included, but maybe it was cost prohibitive, or you couldn't make it happen for whatever reason?
Not really. I mean, when I met with the Penguin team and Ajar, I kind of had free reign to do what I wanted, and I really feel like the best there was no compromises. That's really important for me. I mean, I don't want to anything that I put my name on, I really want people to be able to trust
Mm,
and know that they're going to get a good value and that they're going to get strong magic. And it's not just another product to be a product. And so I don't think there's anything that I would have included that's not in there.
wow. Okay, that's very, very cool. And I mean, obviously, they can go on to these are available now from Penguin.
Yeah,
What's
Penguin,
what's
and
the retail on it?
it's $40. And
I mean, hang on. I just have to say that's ridiculously cheap. Like,
I agree. It's a real value, and I think people will, I think there will be some people that will look at this and go, oh, it's just a pen through bill. Oh, it's just a crazy cube. But I think the routines and the handling and the advice and stuff are so powerful. I truly feel this is a bargain for that retail price. I mean, if I got this even nowadays with my experience and I paid $100, I would be happy. Um, but uh, I'm really proud of it. I'm proud with the results of the production, all of the props, the material in the kit, everything. I think it will really help make magicians more successful.
yeah, I agree, 100%. Two more questions, not about the kit, just in general. Then I promise I'm done. The next question I've got to ask you is, and I know I'm going to get kicked in the comments if I don't ask this question. I've got literally the
Greg, hold on one second. I'm losing my battery, so I'm just gonna go back into my other room into the office there. I'm sorry.
okay, no problem.
And then we'll just say that we switched
Yeah, we'll
places.
by the power of magic, we'll move you into another room. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So we magically moved Tim into a different part of his house, which
Yeah, my battery light on my computer came up, so you were kind enough to make a little stop there. Thanks.
that's fine. Not a problem at all. I was going to say there's two other questions I want to ask, and the first question, nothing to do with the kit, but I know I'm going to get kicked in the comments if I don't ask this because obviously I've got somebody whose literal job is to help creators release magic
Mhm.
and help the next generation of creators come and bring their ideas to Penguin Magic and so on and so forth. So I have a lot of people watching this channel that want to be creators. They think they've got a good trick. They don't really know which direction to go in order to make that a reality.
Mhm.
What do people need to do to get on Penguin's radar?
Yeah, well, you can either email me at tim@penguinmagic.com or Sean@penguinmagic.com. Sean is one of my colleagues, and basically Sean and I look at a lot of the new products coming in, and we kind of need two things: a short video, and it doesn't need to have any frills. It does not need to be a full production because it's just internal information only. And so a short video just showing what you have, like what is the effect? What is this thing? And then another short video just giving the bare basics explanation. Like this is, the 10-second quick overview of the product. Those two videos are a big help. And then like, why are you releasing this? What's the goal? How does it stand out? How is it different? And if you email us that type of information, then what we do is we take a look at it. And if we think it's good enough, if it's valid enough, then we share it with members of our team internally. So it goes to everybody in our team, kind of our core team for feedback, and we discuss it. What are the pros? What are the cons? And then certainly we get back to the creator and either move forward or try to give them advice of what if we chose not to do it, why we made that decision.
That's amazing. And for somebody who is a creator, what advice can you, as somebody who's worked with some of the biggest and best creators in the world, what advice can you give somebody, not in terms of releasing a trick, but just creating it in the first place? Is there something that people need to do in order to be a creator? Maybe they're struggling with the initial idea or they're struggling with that idea becoming a reality. Is there any advice that you can give, having worked with so many creators and being a creator yourself?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest pieces of advice is don't try to become a creator necessarily. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think that in magic nowadays we see a lot of people wanting to put things out just to get their name out and to um get some spotlight. And I don't want to discourage people because the creativity process is an amazing amount of fun, an amazing challenge, and all of that. But just take your time, like learn magic and do magic first of all. You really have to understand the history of magic. You have to understand how it works. You have to understand the impact. And, all of the team at Penguin, as an example, we've all been performers out there and you certainly can attest to this as well. I mean, you have a vast knowledge of the history of magic, you have a vast knowledge of performing and what people want to see and how things should work and stuff like that. And then you can bring that experience to the tricks that you're putting out.
That's great. That's really good advice. Uh, and last question. What are you moving on to next? I mean, the Impossible is out. Are we going to see another Magic kit at some point in the future? What's next? Right. I suppose the question I'm trying to ask is, Tim, is there anything left on your magical bucket list? Because I have to be honest, you've done it all, you've seen it all, you know everybody. You are the go-to guy. If somebody needs help or advice on something, they ring Tim Trono. You've worked with the biggest names in Magic. You've worked with the biggest companies in Magic. If you decided to retire tomorrow, and I know you won't because I know you love what you do, but if
Yeah.
you decided to retire tomorrow and rode off into the sunset, your legacy is set. You have achieved so much.
Thanks.
You have done
Thanks.
so much. What is there left to do? Is there anything that you kind of go, I'd like to see this happen. I'd like to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the fortunate part of my job and my position and all of us really. I mean, it just doesn't apply to me, but like for example, I'm always on the hunt for new magic and new talent. And by new talent, it doesn't necessarily even have to be new. It just has to be talent that's not on my radar, basically. And then it's new talent, right? As an example, a couple of years ago, I was at Blackpool Magic Convention and I was having dinner with a group of magicians and Gabriel Whirlin had come to join our dinner party. And I've certainly heard of Gabriel. I read his book, The Green Neck System, and been intrigued by it. And then Gabriel started doing some magic during our dinner and totally blew us away, totally just fried us with his magic. And so I instantly um, glommed on to Gabriel and we worked on some projects and he came over and did a Penguin Live lecture and stuff like that. But it was so exciting to just see this other thinking by this guy and that's the type of stuff that really excites me. Just kind of discovering people that I'm not aware of or discovering tricks that I'm not aware of. And they always just keep popping up, you know. And so that's the great thing about the job is that as long as I keep my eyes open and keep looking around and keep meeting people and keep watching, I'm going to see new great magic.
That's amazing. That's brilliant.
Thanks.
And actually, I know I keep saying one last question, but that has actually brought up one final question, which is kind of similar to what I said before, but different. I know that you organize a lot of the Penguin Lives, or you reach out to people, and I know I'm totally aware of this. They went away for a bit, they're back, and since coming back, the names that you've had have been incredible. Like I've just seen Mario Lopez's Penguin Live, and it's one of the best lives that I've ever seen, period. It's just
Yeah.
incredible. Every single
Thanks.
one of them is so good.
Thanks.
Um, if somebody's watching this and they want to get on your radar in terms of doing a Penguin Live, Is it the same process? Do they contact you, Tim? Like,
Yeah, they contact us. The challenge with Penguin Lives is, well, as you know, we were doing it, literally every week, and we had some of the best names in Magic, and I would encourage viewers to just really go back and look at the back catalog because there's just gold mine after gold mine after gold mine listed in on the content. And one of our challenges for the future is a way to better organize that so that people can delve into the Penguin Lives because there's just so much great material there that is just completely off people's radar. Um, so, but then as we went forward, a lot of the bigger name talents were used up, and so now what we try to do for the Penguin Lives is we're trying to do them just when they're special, just when they need to be done. Like when not I discovered, but um when I became aware of Gabriel as an example, I was just like, people need to see this guy. I mean, they just need to see him. And so we arranged for him to come over for a Penguin Live. And it's been very successful. Gabriel was happy, and the consumers who've watched the lecture have just loved it. And likewise with Mario and just other people that have come in for lectures recently. So, if you have something special to offer, we're always interested in seeing.
wow, that's great. And long may they continue. I know I'm speaking to a very good friend of mine, Nicola Arcane,
Mhm,
who is
mhm.
just a wonderful human being, and she said that she's just completed a Penguin Live, so hopefully we'll be seeing her coming up on the schedule soon because Nicola's incredible.
Yeah, yeah, there's some amazing magicians out there, and there's people all the time who are just coming up with brilliant single tricks, but there's also people who are just really brilliant performers that need more visibility.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's what it's there for, 100%.
Yep.
Tim, I want to say thank you so much for jumping
No,
on.
well, thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I love your show and we've known each other for a long time. I mean, you and your wife, before you even had your kids, came to my house to meet my wife and have dinner at our place many, many
Amazing.
years ago.
Yeah. That
So,
must be about, oh my God, I don't even want to think, 15, 16,
oh, at
17
least,
years
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
18 years ago. Oh, so long ago. Back definitely when I had hair. I'm pretty sure I had hair back then.
No
Uh,
comment.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. But yeah, it's always a pleasure chatting to you, genuinely.
Likewise,
And you know what I
likewise.
love most about chatting to you, Tim? Every time I speak to you, I can just tell that you love magic. You just love magic, and that's why you're so good at what you do because that's your driving force. That's your raison d'etre. You love magic and you want to share magic and you want to share good magic, and that comes across so loud whenever I speak to you. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's an honor for me to be part of it, and it's an honor to help people. It's an honor to try to make magic better and better and better. I mean, that's the overriding goal is to make magic as good as we possibly can. So we'll just keep on that journey.
perfect. Well, I want everyone who's watched this video to do two things. First of all, I have it here. I'm going to show it on camera. Here it is. The beautiful Impossible Magic kit. I have mine here. The iconic P3 logo on the back. Beautiful, beautiful kit. 16 professional quality magic tricks that will fool everybody. So I have it here. I want everyone that's watching this to do two things. Number one, go onto Penguin, go and buy one of these. I promise you, you won't regret it. Secondly, leave a comment down below. Let Tim know what you thought of the interview. And remember, you've got his email address. If you think you've got a trick that you think you would like Penguin to produce, Tim is absolutely open to hearing from you. So leave a comment down below. Send Tim emails, preferably nice ones, all about working with Penguin Magic. And Tim, one more time, thank you so much.
Thank you, Craig. I really appreciate your time and everybody else's time out there for listening to this.
No problem. Tim, you're amazing. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. That was the Impossible Magic Kit from Penguin Magic and Tim Trono. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back again soon with another video right here on Magic TV. Until then, my name's Craig. This is Tim Trono, and this is Magic TV.